Hi, everyone. It is January 4th, 2022. And our slogan this year is "It's up to you in 22." We've seen a lot of people soar in 21 and 20. And we've seen a lot of people struggle in those 2 years. So we're calling it this year. It's all about us. It's learning about how to do business in this world that we live in and how to do it successfully. So I wanted to kick the new year off with two very special speakers, two superstars on our team. And Amye Johnson is the first one, and she had over 167,000. Amye had 203,000 trip points. So that should tell you a whole lot. And Amye is someone that has spoken on our director call, and I asked her to talk about how she gets bookings and how she does so much in sales. She has 4 children. She does it all, I believe, through Facebook. But just remember, guys, anything you hear about that we can do on Facebook, we can now transfer to table. So, so whichever method you're using, remember, you can go back or forth. So, so let's get Amye up. Okay. Amye, can you speak for a minute?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Where are you? So I can make you the...
Keep talking. It's hard to find you.
Keep talking. I don't know. Well, while she's looking for me, I just wanted to say I'm so very excited to be here. It surely is an honor to be asked to do this. And I love to teach. That was my career before Pampered Chef. And I also love to learn. So I'm super excited to see what Candace has to say in a little bit. If you don't have a pen and paper, I'd say grab one. Because I tend to talk really fast. And if you have a question, you should probably jot it down. You can ask me a question in a minute. So is that good enough, Nancy Jo?
Absolutely. Tell us how long you've been with Pampered Chef, where you live, a little bit about your family.
So I'm from Southeastern Virginia, almost in North Carolina. If you've ever heard of the Great Dismal Swamp, that's where I live. I've been with Pampered Chef for almost 16 years. It doesn't feel like that long. So that's a great thing. That means I'm still having fun. What else do you want to know?
That's great. That's great. So you have 4 children, right? You have 4.
I do. I have 4 boys. And if we have to do virtual school again, you will all hear me scream.
There you go. There you go. Oh, I know. For sure. Well, you know what, Amye, you have such a strong business and such a consistent business. I know I write you a card just about every month of congratulations. So would you tell us how you get bookings and how there's a lot of people that are struggling on the call with getting bookings. It's a brand new year. So tell us what you do in really good detail, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, buckle up. First of all, I'm going to say this. I'm kind of blunt. So I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I will tell you this. If you're not willing to change what you're doing right now, you will not get any more results and you will be struggling the same as you are now in the future. So if you are here tonight looking for something, whether it's help in bookings and sales, recruiting, if you are here hoping that somebody gives you a huge nugget of wisdom, take every single nugget that you are given and give it a shot. Take the advice you're given, try it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and look at your results. There was this wonderful woman who once long ago said, it's not magical, it's mathematical. I think her name was Nancy Jo. But if you look at your results, you'll see what's working and what's not. If you want to change something, whether you want to have more sales, whether you want to get more recruits, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to be debt-free, you have to find the people who are doing it and do what they're doing. You can't say, I wish I had more bookings. I wish I could lose weight. And then somebody says, here's what you can try. And you don't do it. If you don't try what the people who are doing it say to do, you're never going to do it. So you've got to give it a shot. Some things may be out of your comfort zone, but you really have to give it a shot, and you can't just do it once. So that's what I have to say for that part. A couple things that I would say when you're looking for bookings is to pay attention to your time. And what I mean by that is make sure that you can't, like sometimes people will sit down and say, I reached out for bookings for 30 minutes and I didn't get anybody to come back. And my question would be, did you really reach out for bookings, or were you scrolling through your contacts on Consultants Corner? Were you looking at Facebook? Were you flipping through your text messages on your phone? What were you actually doing? So make sure when you say that you are working for bookings that you're actually doing that. I always tell myself, like I get mad at myself when I waste time, and I don't accept less from myself than I would from someone who was my paid employee, if that makes sense. If this is my job and that's how I treat it, I have to work it like it's a job. So pay attention that you are doing income producing activities. That is super, super important. You have to treat this like a job. So if, and I'm going back because it's New Year's and we have all these resolutions about losing weight and everything else. If you are trying to exercise and you say, well, I should have burned some calories because I ran the vacuum cleaner today. That's not how that works. It's not focused attention. And that's what you need if you're trying to get bookings. You have to have focused attention. So the number one place, obviously, to get bookings is through your shows. So when I'm in my shows, I'm constantly keeping my eye out for who are my very active people. Now, I do all of my shows on Facebook. I'm not back to in-person shows yet because people are gross. I have a problem with germs. And one time I went to some lady's house and she had her dirty laundry on the stove, and y'all haven't forgot it yet. It's not ready yet, okay? But I do all of my parties on Facebook. I'm not a table convert yet, although I'm not looking bad at it. I just not all the way there yet, but everything can be applied the same way. But I'm looking for the people who are interacting, and I keep just a scrap sheet of paper next to my computer and I'm jotting their names down. You know, I put like Mary's party, and then I jot the people who are really interacting with me, because sometimes that can change over the course of the party. And if somebody's really active in, you know, the first couple days, they may have things that go on, or they may be out of town or whatever. So I keep track of them. And I also try to keep my eye open for, you know, if I have a post about the rock crock and somebody says, ooh, nice, and that's the only comment they say through the whole party, I try to jot their name down, because, you know, that's, and I'll write rock crock next to it because that's a clue to me. So I keep track of that during the party. I do reach out to those people first, and I have a different message for each one. You probably have seen the wording floating around about you're a rock star party guest, and it asks for the booking. So I use that for the people who are rock stars. The people who, you know, liked the rock crock or whatever, I pretty much use almost the same message, but I don't say you're a rock star, because if that was the only comment they made in the party, that's me lying, and that's not going to work well. So for that one, I have almost the same message, but I started out with, I see you had your eye on that rock crock. And then I give them prices. I say, you know, I can absolutely help you purchase it now for $140, or we could set up a party for you and you could get it for, and then I give them the half price. People like numbers. The words half price, 50% off, 60% off don't ring as true as actual numbers. Do the math for them. So I reach out to those people, and then I have my host reach out to her party guests as well. And I'm sure, like, I feel like it's this, when people share these words in some of our groups, it's the same words that we all use, but I'm giving my host a message to copy and paste, and I'm asking her to ask at least 5 people so that we can get at least 3. And I'm explaining to her that with 3 bookings, she's going to get that 3-party booking bonus. Now, wouldn't we like a little insurance? Because if she and I together using that message book 3 parties, there's a chance one of them might flop, right? So I'm asking her to reach out to 5 people, so we would get 3 on there. But I'm also reaching out to those rock stars and those people that I know have their eye on specific products. So I'm trying to pad those numbers, you know, also. So that's where I get my bookings from, through the party. Outside of the party, I have a pretty happening VIP group. Now, I did not have that a year and a half ago. I didn't have a VIP group at all, but I found the people who were doing it well, and I did what they did. And now I have an amazing VIP group. I had over rated 1,000 people within a year. So that was pretty good growth for me, and it's a very active group. So I post in there as well, and they always, my VIP group always knows what's coming up, so I get bookings from there as well. Outside of that, if my calendar was completely dry and I had to start over, I would be looking strategically at those people who I can ask a favor. And, you know, when your calendar is completely empty, you have to ask for a favor, and you have, like, it's not just like, oh, hey, yeah, I do pamper chef parties. Do I do one? Like, you have to specifically say out loud, I need help. I need to schedule some parties. But your potential host is also going to get something in return. So what I try to do, because this is strategic, you can't just, oh no, can you hear me though? Somebody just said they have a blank screen. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yes,
we can hear.
yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is very strategic when you're reaching out, because just go with me for a minute like this. Let's say I'm in a book club and there's 7 ladies that always come. If I really want to reach out, I can't ask all of them, and one of them books a party. Okay, Mary from book club says she'll do a party. Who's she going to invite? She's obviously going to invite the book club people. So I can't keep asking them, you know, if I'm looking for more bookings. You have to be strategic and think about, who do they know who I don't know? So yes, I will talk about VIP group in a minute if I have time. So if you have to strategically think about, like I said, who these people know that you can branch out into those circles. And you go to those people and you say, hey, I really need to ramp up my business. I'm looking to book some parties. And in exchange, you're going to get something too. So, you know, I would love to give you a mini kitchen makeover. I can't give you any more counter space, ha, 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 but I can give you better tools, and that may help you, you know, eat better if that's something they're working on, plan your meals better, spend more time with your family, fill it in with what you know about that person, but say, I really thought of you because I need you to invite people I don't know. And share that need with them, because that's really important to get you out of that little circle. But if your calendar is completely empty, you're going to have to go back to that list of 100. You have to go back to the basics and start there. And you have to really specifically say, I need people to host a party. You cannot, and like I said, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but you can't do lame posts. You can't just be like, oh, the January host special is awesome. Who wants to host a party? Guess who? Nobody. Okay. You can't be asking like that. You have to say, like, you have to show using the blender. You have to go live with your blender, or show something with the blender and say, this is amazing. You can get this for, and then do the math. Don't just say 60% off. But even that is not going to get you anywhere if your calendar's completely empty. You're going to have to go ask. So that's my information on bookings. So Nancy Jo, I think, has more questions for me.
That's great. Thank you so much. I hope you guys got the energy that Amy has. It's definitely work. It's definitely back to basics, but it will work if you work, right? It will work if you work. Amy, tell us about how you get all those sales. I mean, I think you do all of your parties individually, correct?
I do.
Okay. And how many parties do you hold a week?
Probably about 6 to 8 a week. Depends on the week.
Depends on the week. Okay. So that's how you get such rock star sales. So what do you like to focus on in your parties?
I will tell you this. I have one outline that I use for 6 months, and that might fly in the face of a lot of training here about making everything individual for each host. I do not have time for that, y'all. You heard about them 4 boys. I got so much laundry. So I just don't have time to customize everybody's party for them. So what I want to focus on is the same thing I focus on every single party. I do the same thing the same way every single time. And you might be like, but Amy, my host said she wanted a fresh start for the. No, I don't care. No, I am the professional. I am the Pampered Chef consultant. You will get what I give you. And let me tell you, you will get an amazing party. So did you like the party that you just attended and booked from? Yes. Okay. I'm going to do something great for you. And the only thing I change, because let's say Mary has a party and Susie books from Mary. Okay. I don't want to do the exact same thing for Susie. The only thing I change is maybe 1 or 2 recipes over the course of the party, and then I'll change out my engagement posts. And I do have a couple tips about engagement posts I'll share in a few minutes if time allows, but that's really all I change. So what I focus on, you have to have, so when you're looking at the whole sum of everything that you're showing these people, whether it's in table, whether it's in Facebook, or whether it's in person, if you do not have a good mixture of products, recipes, tips, and engagement, nobody wants to watch your party. If you are, even if you're a live party, you've got to have some back and forth. You've got to have engagement. So I just said 4 things: products, recipes, tips, and engagement. So you divide that evenly. You need 25% of your posts to be engagement posts. I post, and like I said earlier, if you're not willing to change what you're doing, you're not going to get different results. I do 16 posts a day, and I know some people are just clutching their pearls and falling back like, that's too many, can't do that. Yes, I can, and I do. And the 4th one every single time is an engagement post, because, and I know some people are like, well, that's the beauty of table, you don't have to do that, but you know what? It's fun. People like it. And my engagement posts are not always related to food or Pampered Chef or products. Sometimes they're like, what's your favorite movie quote or whatever. But that's how I get people: products, recipes, tips, and engagement. Somebody just asked. But that's how I get people coming back to me and saying, that was a fun party. You're a fun consultant. I enjoyed myself. Because I don't care how great our products are. If that's all we're talking about, you can really bore people quickly. So when I sit down to craft my template, if you will, if I mention a product, guarantee you the next recipe I talk about is going to be featuring that product. And then any other products I talk about are going to be supplemental products from that recipe. So, you know, I may be talking about the chicken pot pie chowder right after I feature the rock crock. I'm going to talk about the rock crock and the features and benefits. Then I'm going to share the recipe with the chicken pot pie chowder. Then I'm going to talk about the garlic press, because you use that to make it. So that's how I do. I tie that all together, and then I'm going to throw in a fun engagement post, because it doesn't matter how your outline is structured. Facebook's going to show your customers what, in any order. It doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason to how they see what you've put out. I can help with the outline. So you never know what they're going to see, but if they are engaging with your engagement posts, Facebook is going to show them more. So they may never see the post about the rock crock or the chicken pot pie chowder, but if they start like telling you their favorite movie quote or how they like their bacon cooked, then you know, they will come back to, or Facebook will start showing them more. So they might at first only see engagement posts that people are engaging with, but then they will start to see the rock crock, and then they will start to see this. And once people are comfortable responding to you, even if it's just a, which doormat, you know, would you like at your front door? And they start responding to that, then they're more likely to respond when you talk about the rock crock. I've watched other parties, Pampered Chef or 31 or Color Street. Like I've tried to participate in any party that I'm offered, so that I can just kind of see what those people who are doing it well are doing. And sometimes I will see lame posts like, look at this cool new tote that 31 has. I'm not picking on 31. What would you put in it? I mean, what do you think people are going to put in their tote? You know, so you can't, like, I feel like sometimes when people are like, oh, this is the rock crock, it's great, what would you cook in it? Nobody knows what they're gonna cook in it. You got to be like, this rock crock is great, you gonna make this chicken pot pie chowder in it, I bet it's gonna taste good. You know, you got to do that kind of stuff. So like I said, I do have some tips on engagement posts, but I don't know if we have time or if I can talk about that just yet.
Yep, you've got 6 minutes left, Amy, so
Okay.
take it away. Yeah.
Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk to you about was being strategic about your marketing. Marketing, you are marketing yourself as an online presence. So I am very, very careful about what I post on my personal Facebook. I don't curse, I don't post politics. And I know people are like, well, I should be able to share my opinion, but people are looking at you and taking that away. So I try to be careful about that. And I try to be someone outside of my parties that people will engage with as well, because I find that my customers then, so I do not friend request my customers, but I do my hosts, obviously. But my hosts and customers sometimes, or my customers sometimes friend request me. And I want them to keep coming back to me because they enjoy interacting with me. So I am constantly posting engagement posts, but you have to be strategic about it. Now, I will go online and just Google like social media engagement posts looking for something. And sometimes you get good stuff and sometimes you get crummy stuff. And I just wanted to show you, I'm going to see if I can share my screen. I wanted to show you this. This was an engagement post that I found. It says, how do you like your bacon cooked? So every time you see an engagement post, you have to ask yourself, how would I answer that? How do I want my customers to respond to that? So this one I thought was not that great because what are people going to say? You know, they're not going to answer it because it doesn't give them. So this is, can I go down? This is better because I've given them options. Now they know how to respond. However, this is what I want to caution you about. Facebook doesn't like tiny answers. They want more involved answers. The more involved an answer is, the more engagement you're going to get, the more return of engagement you're going to get with that person. So you can go back and forth with that person. So I'm going to show you another one that I had to redo. Does your family do Sunday supper? Because this was for me to post on Sunday supper day, which is upcoming. Again, ask yourself, how do I want my customer to respond? How do they answer that question? It's a yes or a no. That's not a long answer. That's a short answer. We don't want that. So if you look at this, where I redid this, does your family have a Sunday food tradition? Because this is going to get people talking. Okay. That's going to get people talking. Now, I will use this graphic in my VIP group for Sunday supper day when it's actually that day. And then I'll chop the bottom of it off and use it in my parties as I go along for the next 6 months, because this is something that will get people will go back and forth. They are going to give you a long answer. They're going to say, well, we always let the dog eat dinner with us and she sits at the table and it's really cute. Or my parents always come over, or whatever their thing is. So again, this is another one. French toast, yay or nay? How do you want them to answer? Yay or nay is not a very good answer. So for this one, I might say something like, what's your favorite French toast topping? Mine is whipped cream, and here's me using the whipped cream maker, and I might take it that way rather than just a yes or no answer. So definitely when your engagement posts are going to be very important, because that's what's pulling people back. As far as when I feature products in my template, I seriously take exactly what we have written on the website, exactly what's in the catalog, because there are people who are paid to craft those words, and they have a very good mix of features and benefits. So exactly what you want to show is your features and benefits. So I absolutely take those words and use those. So I'm not recreating the wheel as far as what to say about our products, but I am recreating the engagement post, because you've got to get people in and engaged so they see the other stuff, if that makes sense. So I probably overran my 6 minutes.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, that's absolutely wonderful. I really appreciate you giving us those tiny details, because I think that's what people need. And I love that you do every fourth post is an engagement. That's probably why you're quote unquote getting away with 16 posts in a day, and people are constantly coming back because of your engagement posts, and because they're wanting to put fun answers in there, so they're learning, but at the same time they're showing who they are too. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Patty and Marie, do you guys have anything else that you want to ask Amy?
Yes, I'll just ask her what I just typed as my question. So thinking about your party as a structure, your outline for the week, my first question is, when do you post? Do you post like all day long from a morning post to an evening post? Or do you just do a little bit in the morning little bit at lunch, and then make most of your posts in the evening when most people are at home. Some people have talked about when's the best time to have posts be seen. So what's your philosophy behind that?
I can show you. I'm going to show you so it's not my template. It's more the framework that I fit my template into. So I'll show you that, and I can absolutely send that along so that you guys can have it to work with. But I will say this, it doesn't matter what time you post something, because Facebook is going to show it to people when they want to show it. So I've heard before that whole like, post it when you think people are most active, but it really doesn't matter, because you could post, everything at 5 a.m. and Facebook might not show it to people until they are active later in the day. So I like to have here, let me show you this. Let's look at this. This is exactly what I do. Let me preface this really quickly by saying my entire involvement with my host spans 10 days, which sounds like a lot, but I'm not doing a 10-day party. Okay, you guys. There are 5 days that are pre-party days, and the first 4 is just her inviting people and me welcoming them and telling my guests to drop a fun gift below to say hello. And then I put like Mrs. Doubtfire, like hello, with whipped cream all over her face, something. That's all those. So this pre-day is like my 5th pre-party day. And then this is what I post. And you'll see that my posts are 3 minutes apart at 4 separate times during the day, 8, 12, 4, and 8. 3 minutes apart is far enough apart that Facebook won't yell at you, but it's close enough together that when those 9 minutes are up, Facebook will only show that to your guest as one notification. It will say Amy posted in the party one time, not one for each of those. So that's how I can jam so much content in without over notifying my guests. I hope that makes sense.
Yes,
So
Amy, let
answer
me,
my question. 8, noon, 4, and 8.
Yeah.
So it's basically 8 to 8 with 4 time periods.
Yep.
okay, and Amy, you've got multiple parties going. Are all of them going, the first one going at 8 a.m. and then the next one going at 8:03, or are you putting some of them at 8:01, 8:02, that kind of stuff? Oops, I think you're frozen.
I think she's frozen too.
Okay. All right. Refresh, right.
Refresh.
Amy, you're
I
frozen.
know.
Okay.
She might just come back. Maybe she'll give her a minute. Somebody, can you message her?
I
Nan?
just did. Yeah, I just
okay.
did.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, looks like they're in groups of 4, 3 minutes apart. Yep.
I wonder
Okay.
if did she say she uses the service or no? Did she say if she uses like a scent share or?
Didn't hear her say.
Yeah.
Didn't hear her say. So,
Okay.
all right. Well, listen, we can have her answer any other questions just in the when we're done with the 2 recordings. Okay. So thank you very much, Amy. I appreciate you sharing your wisdom with us. You guys, hopefully that you can take that and run with it, and just like she said, she does one outline. She changes up just a couple things, but seriously, that's doing your business simply, but doing it very, very well. So thank you so much. Katie, you want to stop this recording?
Sure. Hold on.
Okay.
One moment, please.